Right, today we're talking about everyone's favourite topic, money. Specifically, how much property investment actually costs. Not the sanitised Instagram version where someone tells you they bought a property with no money down while conveniently forgetting to mention the £15,000 in other costs. I'm going to walk you through the real costs. Not just the deposit, all of it. The bits people forgot about, the bits that catch you out, the bits that mean the difference between a good investment and a financial disaster. And before someone in the comments goes, but Narelle, everyone's situation is different. Yes, I know, I'm aware. These are examples. Your numbers will vary, but the categories of costs, those are universal. So whether you're looking at your first property or your 10th, pay attention. Because this is where people become unstuck. Let's get into it. Right, let's start with the obvious ones. The cost everyone knows about, but often underestimate, the deposit. Most buy-to-let mortgages need a 25% deposit. Very few need less. And if they do, you're paying for it in interest rates. So on a £150,000 property, you're looking at $37,500 minimum. That's before you've done anything else. The mortgage? People forget this is a cost. Oh, but the rent covers it. Does it though? Does it really? After you've paid the mortgage, the insurance, the maintenance, the void periods, the letting fees, does the rent still cover everything and leave you with actual profit? Because if it doesn't, you don't have an investment, you have an expensive hobby. Stamp duty, this is where people get caught out. They save up their deposit, they're all excited, and then, oh, yeah, stamp duty. That'll be another $4,500, please. And if it's not your first property, you're paying the additional home surcharge on top. So that $4,500 becomes $9,000 on a £150,000 property. Stamp duty for an additional property is $7,500. That's not pocket change. You need to factor this in from the start, not as an afterthought. Right, now we're getting into the stuff people forget about. Surveys. You need a survey. You might think you don't, but you do. £400 to £1,000 depending on the type. And if the survey finds problems, you might need specialists. Damp specialist, structural engineer. Those aren't cheap either. Solicitors, £1,000 to £2,000 for conveyancing. More if it's complicated, more if it's a leasehold, more if there are any issues. And if the purchase falls through, some of that cost is still gone. Mortgage fees, arrangement fees, valuation fees, broker fees if you use one, $500 to $2,000 typically, sometimes more. Now searches, environmental searches, local authority searches, water searches, drainage searches, a few £100. Boring but essential. Before you've even bought the property, before you've done any work to it, before you've found a tenant, you're looking at deposit plus another $10,000 to $15,000 in costs. Starting to see why those no money down claims are usually nonsense? Now let's talk about getting the property ready to rent. And I don't care if the estate agent said it's ready to let, it's not. It never is. Minimum refurb, even if the property is decent condition, you need professional clean. That's £200 to £500. Safety certificates, gas, electric, EPC, that's £300 to £500. Maybe some paint, $500 to £1,000 if you're doing it yourself. Double that if you're not. Probably some minor repairs, $500 to £1,000, so minimum $1,500 to $3,000. Standard refurb most properties need are more. New carpets or flooring, $1,000 to $3,000. Kitchen update, $2,000 to $5,000. Bathroom update, $2,000 to $4,000. Full redecoration, $2,000 to $4,000. Various fixes, $1,000 to $2,000. We're now at $8,000 to $18,000. Full refurb if you're doing a proper job. New kitchen, $5,000 to $10,000. New bathroom, $4,000 to $7,000. Full rewire, $3,000 to $5,000. New boiler, $2,000 to $3,000. Plastering, $2,000 to $4,000. Flooring throughout, $2,000 to $4,000. External work, $2,000 to $5,000. So you're looking at $20,000 to $40,000 easy. And here's the thing. You need to have this money available. Not, oh, I'll get it from somewhere. Actually available. Because refurbs always cost more than you think. Right, you've bought it. You've done it up. Now the ongoing costs. This is where people really mess up their calculations. The must-haves. Landlord insurance, $200 to $400 a year. Gas safety certificate, $80 to $150 a year. Electrical checks, $150 to $300 every 5 years. EPC renewal, $80 to $120 every 10 years. Letting agent fees, 8 to 15% of rent typically, or if you're self-managing, it's costing you your time. Now the maintenance, here's the rule of thumb. Budget 10 to 15% of your rental income for maintenance. If you're getting $800 a month, that's $80 to $120 a month set aside. But Narelle, nothing ever breaks. Oh really? Nothing? The boiler never fails? The washing machine lasts forever? The roof never needs repairs? Come on. Over time, things break. That's not pessimistic, it's realistic. And if you haven't budgeted for it, where's that money coming from? Your personal account? That's not a good investment. That's you subsidizing your tenant's housing. The void periods. Even with the best tenant, you'll have void periods. When they move out and before the next one moves in, budget for at least 1 month per year. So if your rent is £800 a month, you've just lost £800. Plus you're still paying the mortgage, insurance, bills during that time. So let's add it up. Your monthly, your ongoing cost might look like this. Mortgage 500, insurance 30, maintenance fund 100, letting agents 100 if you're using one, void provision £70. That's 800 in costs. If your rent is 800, you're breaking even. That's 800 in costs. If your rent is 800, you're just breaking even. And that's if nothing goes wrong. Now for the cost almost nobody talks about. Your time. This isn't free. Even if you're not paying yourself, your time has value. How many hours are you spending finding the property, managing the refurbs, dealing with the tenant issues, doing boring admin? If you're spending 10 hours a month on a property and your time is worth £20 an hour, that's £200 a month you're not accounting for. Your mental energy. Can't put a number on that, but it is real. The stress, the worry, the 2 a.m. phone calls, the decisions, the problems. If your property investment is making you miserable, it's costing you more than money. Opportunity cost. This is a big one people miss. That £50,000 you've got tied up in a deposit and refurb costs, what else could it be doing? In the stock market, averaging 7% annually? In a business? In other investments? I'm not saying property is the wrong choice, but you need to acknowledge that putting money into property means not putting it somewhere else. Tax? Oh yeah, tax. Income tax on rental profits. Capital gains tax when you sell. Stamp duty when you buy. Factor this in, talk to an accountant, don't just assume, oh, I'll sort that out later. Later comes around faster than you think. Right, so let's add this all up. To buy and refurb a £150,000 property, you're realistically looking at deposit of £37,500. Your stamp duty is going to be £7,500. Your purchase costs are going to be £5,000. Your refurb, £15,000. Medium level is going to cost you £65,000 minimum. And that's before ongoing costs, before voids, before maintenance issues. Now, does that mean you shouldn't do it? No, that's not what I'm saying. Does it mean you need to go into this with your eyes wide open? Absolutely. Property can be an incredible investment. It can build wealth, create income, give you financial freedom, but only if you do it properly. Only if you've got enough capital, only if you've run the numbers honestly. Don't believe the start with no money hype. Don't think you can skip steps. Don't assume it'll all just work out. Do your homework, save your money, build your buffer, and then invest. I started with no capital, and I was using investor finance, and I learned all of this, sometimes the hard way. Preparation is how you build a sustainable property portfolio. Not by cutting corners, but by doing it right. All right, that's your dose of financial reality for today. If this helped you dodge a bullet, hit that subscribe button. And if you're still excited about property investing after all of that, good. You might just have what it takes. I'll see you in the next one.